and I ended up in eternal punishment of hell.
This robber is like many who hear of Jesus but don't believe on him. They close their heart to Jesus and his concern for their souls. They laugh at the idea of judgment. Even on their deathbed, they're so hardened and selfish, all they can think of is themselves. But wait, we still need to hear from the other robber who was there.
I was the robber who defended Jesus. At first I insulted him as well, but as I watched him suffer, my thoughts about him changed. I came to believe he was a king. I saw that in the manner in which he acted. His silence in the face of such mocking showed me he was much better than the rest of us. I had heard about Pilate finding nothing wrong with Jesus. I knew I deserved to be punished, but I had heard nothing but good about Jesus. I had heard that he had raised the dead, healed the sick, and forgave sinners. I had heard how he was offered to those who believed on him an eternal kingdom. I knew I didn't deserve mercy, but I asked for it anyway. I trusted in his love, and Jesus took me to heaven, to paradise.
This robber is like the believer who admits his sin and comes to Jesus to be forgiven. Jesus doesn't turn the sinner away, but forgives him. And that forgiveness opens the gates of heaven or paradise for believers. They live their lives assured that Jesus had a place for them in his eternal kingdom. Both of these criminals had the light of life in this world snuffed out. For one, it was the end of light. For the other, it was the entrance to God's kingdom of light. We now extinguish 2 more candles, and the shadows deepen. We sing hymn 139, verses 1 to 3. John 19, 25 to 27. Near the cross of Jesus stood his mother's sister Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother there, and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother,
"Dear woman, here is your son.
And to the disciple,
Here is your mother."
From that time on, this disciple took her into his home. We were there, John and the 3 Marys.
We love Jesus. He had told us that he must die for our sins, but it was difficult for us to lose him.
He was the light of my life. He never did anything wrong. He taught us so much. He loved us so much.
Even as he was in pain, he didn't forget his duty to his mother. He provided for her and gave her another son to take care of her.
What a good man. What a loving man. His death was like a sword piercing our hearts.
This reaction to Jesus is the reaction of believers everywhere when they really ponder his death. It's a reaction of pain. Pain because we know it was for us he suffered and died. Pain because we know that this was the way it was supposed to end. Yet it just doesn't seem right that he should have to die for us. Even though we know that in the end he triumphs, we feel sorrow at his death. For in his death we see what we deserved for our sins. His death puts out the lights of our own righteousness and replaces it with the light of his holiness. We sing hymn 137, verses 1 and 2. Matthew 27:54. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed,
"Surely this was the Son of God."
We were there, those watching and the centurion.
Strange things began to happen in the afternoon when the sky went dark. But after Jesus died, we knew that this was more than an ordinary man.
This was more than an ordinary death. The earth shook, and dead believers came back to life.
This was a righteous man, the Son of God. Otherwise, none of this would have happened.
These eyewitnesses spoke the truth. They were there. And as our theme song stated, it caused them to tremble. It caused the earth to tremble because the very Son of God died. Another reason for darkness.